Thank you, Emily, for joining me in
Thank
this
you, Leslie.
interview style. You're welcome. So, my name is Leslie. My podcast is called Delightful Perspectives. We have a platform on Spotify currently, and this interview recording is on behalf of Delightful Perspectives and Central PA Yoga Love Fest, which is set up by Chelsea, the amazing Chelsea in Harrisburg, PA. So let's start off by introducing you. Who are you?
My name is Emily Turin. I'm from Southern New Jersey. I am a big advocate of the energy medicines of yoga and qigong and Reiki, any form of those type of modalities. So I teach yoga, I teach qigong. I am a singer-songwriter. I wrote a group of songs called Mindful Melodies that I share in workshops, in yoga classes. So that type of thing that can kind of like wake up our minds, but in a nice gentle way, because sometimes awareness can be kind of shocking when we come into awarenesses.
Yeah.
Um, but for the Central PA Love Festival, I am sharing an ecstatic dance. So I feel like that is also a healing modality.
Yeah.
So there's going to be yoga there, there's going to be meditation, and we're going to celebrate on the Saturday night of the festival with an ecstatic dance. So I think that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, cool. So you're trained in all these areas, and Yoga Love Fest is just going to have one part of you per se, the ecstatic dance.
Yeah, I'll be sharing myself in lots of ways, I'm sure,
Very
but yeah.
good. Cool. Okay. So, I guess for me and anybody else who's interested, how can we find your music? I'm very interested.
Well, the music is not recorded yet. I usually do it live, but if anyone in my areas want to contact me for performing in a yoga class or a school or even like family centers, we do things like that. So, yeah, they can contact me through whatever information we leave here at the end of this interview, and I would love to bring that. I mean, I don't travel too far outside the tri-state region right now, but Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey.
That's awesome. That's really
Recording is definitely on its way. A couple songs have been recorded, but they're not
okay.
really on any platform yet. I love to perform live because then you're interacting with the actual people, and it can kind of be presented based on the energy in the room, and you can kind of connect. I like to connect with people. That's why I
Yeah,
love to dance.
yeah. That's awesome. That's really sacred that you share that, you know, in person with people, your voice and your message and your heart,
Yes.
really, that's
Thank
really,
you.
you're welcome. I love that. So I guess to get to know you a little bit more, how long have you been doing ecstatic dance for yoga? I mean, how long have you been into the energy medicines for?
I got my yoga training in 2017. So, on paper, it hasn't been that long. But I was a Zumba instructor before that. So my love of dance came through that way. And I was always connecting with people through dance, probably since I was like 19 years old. When I started, basically, when I started listening to techno music, like old fashioned, and not know that my body would just know how to move. If you free yourself of the structure, your body just knows what it wants to do. And that lit me up. And after that, I just tried to get in as much dancing as possible because it is very freeing. I did become a Zumba instructor, which taught me choreography, a whole different kind of reward and healing that can come from that, because there's something very empowering to um, moving with others in synchronicity, and also committing all that choreography to your mind. I saw people they would just start to glow. They would tell me like, I remembered the whole dance and I did it in my kitchen with my family. And like, I'm like, yes, yes, that's what it's about, you know? So
Awesome.
a mixture of all of those things. And ecstatic dance, I discovered just maybe like 5 years ago, and I just love it. So
That's awesome. So like you mentioned when you free yourself of all these earthly thoughts, and I'm going to
yes,
kind of just use my own words to explain that, but these mental boundaries, self-imposed boundaries, we get to enjoy dance. And I hear a lot from people, oh, I don't dance, or I don't know how to dance, or I look silly dancing. And
yes.
you love free form movement. So tell me about that experience, like about people saying they can't dance, and like, what are your thoughts about that? Or how do you
That
tackle
is,
that in your classes and in your own life? How have you?
yeah, that is actually at the core of what I want to share in ecstatic dance, is the fact that we can release ourselves from the limits of these, what we what we have like boundaries or rules around how we move our body. That if it's not um a certain footwork, then that's not dance. Or if it doesn't look sexy, then that's not dance. Or if it doesn't match what that person over there is doing, that's not, I'm not dancing. You know, it's like we have a lot of thoughts in our minds, a lot of rules around it. So for this upcoming dance in particular, we're actually going to do like a stepping out of our box type of embodiment, if you want to call it that, like, so that we start the dance by actually removing ourselves from the box, out of from behind the walls, taking off the labels. I'm no longer like the person that owns a house cleaning company, because that is what I do for a living. Or I'm no longer like the mother that has like a child with disabilities that I'm stressed out all the time. Or I'm no longer this guy over here that, you know, feels like to move my hips like that's a little bit too, maybe a little feminine. I don't want to do that. Like, we're going to take ourselves out of all those rules, and we're going to allow ourselves to find that freedom. I read a quote I was like thinking about sharing with you today,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was a description of what ecstatic dance is, and this was the definition they gave: a form of dance where one abandons themselves to the rhythm and moves freely as the music takes them. And I was like, okay, yeah, I like that. But I was like, abandon themselves. And I said, actually, it's more about finding ourselves. And so that made me start, so then I was like, well, what do they mean by what they're saying? Because I really liked the way it was written. And I'm like, what they're saying is actually exactly what I'm saying. It's not we're abandoning ourselves. We're abandoning the view and the rules that we have built around this certain box that we keep ourselves in, this certain personality that says like, I don't do that, or I do that. And that's not the way I do it, like someone, so say we were in dance class at 5 years old and we learned all the names to all the fancy footwork, and we learned all those things to maybe like let the body shake and be free and get into some like tribal drum beats and stomp our feet. Like, that's not dance. Where is the pirouette? Where is the 1 2 3 1 2 3? It's like there could be so many structures around dance, and finding ecstatic dance helped me in so many ways free myself of those things.
That's awesome. That's
So
beautiful. Abandoned self. I really resonated with that.
yeah, right. It's
Yeah.
basically abandoning the facade of self,
The
the
create.
personality, the ego self.
Exactly. Yep.
Yes.
The
Yes.
human description that we've put on ourselves, abandoning all of that and letting ourselves just be. You've
Yes.
been doing ecstatic dancing for 5 years. You discovered it. How was your first interaction with it? Was it easy because you always liked dancing, or was there still like a layer that you had to let go of?
Oh, it was like, um, for me, it was the combination. I felt like I finally found other people that danced like me. That's how I felt. I was like, Oh, yes, there's other people out there, because I usually wind up clearing very large areas around me in like dance clubs or something, because I like to dance wild. I like to use my arms. I like to feel the energy. I like to just move. And that's not usually what people were doing in, like, say, the clubs in Atlantic City, or, I was like, I'm the one moving like that. So when I found ecstatic dancers where everyone in the room was doing that, and nobody is actually dancing with each other. It's not like you have to find someone to dance with. You're dancing with yourself, and you're dancing with the music. And I don't really prefer to dance with someone. I like to be solo, and I like to dance solo and move around. So to find another dance floor where you didn't have to constantly combat people trying to get right up on you dancing. It's actually it's a safe container. An ecstatic dance is there's usually an intention set, a tuning in, the same way it would be done in, say, like a yoga class or something, where that the space is safe. It's not like you're starting with your people. And that was beautiful to me. So I felt like someone bringing mindfulness, intention, conscious awareness onto the dance floor. It's so important.
That's awesome. So
and then, like,
go ahead.
Yeah, just because this came to my mind, not to, just because I think it's something that's also very attached to dance for people. It's not about dancing with another human to try to turn that person on. It's not like a sexuality to it. It's much more whole. It's much more pure. It's much more personal. Now, not to say that people aren't admiring each other's wonderful dance moves out there, because that's wonderful. And part of it is a creative expression. Like, where else can you express so freely? But that's not the point. And like, everyone there knows that. So they're usually, created very intentionally.
And so for the person who's never been to an ecstatic dance, they can expect that intention setting at the beginning to really bring them in to the present moment and to the energy of the space, and introduce them to what they're about to do.
Absolutely. Yes. You definitely start by getting into the body, connecting with the breath, feeling the whole, the form of the body, so that we can then notice what does the music do to the form of the body as it moves.
So I know that, movement and dance in general is very healing for me too, just to feel my body flow elementally. But I guess kind of like, let's put that into words. If someone who has never danced before and they're like, I'm not dancing, I don't know how dance can help me. How would you put it into words, like dance can heal you in other ways than you might think. Besides stepping away from the rules of dance, how else does that like ecstatic dance heal us? How else does like movement of the body heal us besides the stripping of the rules?
That is a great question. I'm very glad that you posed it that way. Yes. The body is an energetic form, is an energetic existence. We are matter, but matter is all vibration. Matter is all energy. So our body, the emotions we feel, those vibrations of those emotions get lodged in our body. This is the science of Qigong and the science of yoga. So dancing is really just one more modality, as I mentioned in the very beginning. So our energy systems, our functioning body systems are connected to the stuck energy in our bodies. So when they say disease, like your dis-ease of your body. So if you are having trouble with your heart emotionally, there's chances energy is getting stored in your pericardium, in your heart wall. And by dancing, doing movement, we're releasing the heart wall. We're opening the heart. By stomping the feet, we're grounding ourselves down. So a lot of times we're floating and very airy. Sometimes we're way up in our mind. So by connecting with the earth, connecting with the legs, the lower body, to drum beats that are like an earth tone, those type of things actually are dislodging stuck energy in the meridian lines of our body. Like, there's actually some science to it if you get into it,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
the same with a certain yoga pose is meant to unlock energy. If you're doing, say, like melting heart pose, like, I don't know, I'm just going to the heart both times, but maybe I'm having some heart things today. I'm focused on it. If we were, say, in a yin yoga class and we were put into melting heart pose and we're sitting in this pose to unlock stuck energy in the body, it's with the arms overhead. You're actually like we're not just doing it because we're stretching the body. We're actually unblocking the lines, the meridian lines in the body, in the science of Qigong or yoga. So these things are done by, our body will intuitively do it based on what music is being chosen and shared. And we're working with DJ Natalie Lain for the event for the Central PA Yoga Love Fest. I'm very excited to be working with her. She has shared hours and hours. Actually, she's shared days worth of music with me because it was like 44 hours worth of beautiful music that she's been choosing to share with us for this event. And I just know she's really going to make it a seamless, empowering class for everyone. It's going to be wonderful. And this ecstatic dance will be shared more like a workshop, whereas some ecstatic dances are just, you go there, you kind of collectively start the event, but then people just can be left on their own to just move and feel. And that's a lot of times how it happens, but which is great. But for this particular evening, we are going to have some, like I said, sort of like a workshop, some led sections where we're guiding ourselves, where either myself or Natalie will be guiding everyone to connect with each other, connect with themselves, maybe connect with what emotion is being shared through the music. Things like making eye contact, like during one song that will be guided to make eye contact. The whole meditation in the beginning about stepping out of the box, removing your labels. Like, we're going to guide this. So it's actually very fun. I've had people tell me, like, usually there's like a quarter of the people that just don't dance and they just sit on the sidelines. You got everyone involved. And I'm like, yeah, that's the mission, even if it's just involved for part of the event. It's really nice to include everyone and get them moving in some way.
That's awesome. I like that you explained that it's a type of workshop, because a lot of ecstatic dances that I've been to, they were just dance. It was just time for dancing, which, like you said, is beautiful in and of itself. But this one, there'll be moments where you'll be guiding them into doing specific activities.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like trust building activities, connecting with each other type of activities, connecting with the self. It should be a lot of fun. And that's not to say that there won't be just plain, this is only going to be for the first hour. And I do think that Natalie is going to plan to spin some beats continually throughout the, shorter part of the evening. I'm sure the people in the camping tents won't mind a little music kicking through the field.
Cool. Okay. So your workshop specifically is going to be on Saturday, which is June 25th at night.
Yes.
You know what time?
I feel like it might be around 8:00, but I can't guarantee that as of yet. I don't know if Chelsea has the schedule set yet, but I'm thinking it'll be sometime around then. Okay. Once everyone's had time to have dinner and settle in a little bit, we'll get the party started.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's amazing. Saturday night, June 25th, Central PA Love Yoga Fest. We'll have Emily and Natalie DJing the ecstatic and leading the ecstatic dance at night. That's exciting.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else that you are sharing with the Love Yoga Fest that you wanted to share with me and the audience right now as well?
No, I think that's it. That was my main focus for tonight, to share that and let people know what it's going to be like, what it's going to be about, and get to meet you. And I hope to meet you again. I hope to meet you there.
I will be there. So thank you so much, Emily, for joining. I hope everyone watching joins in the beautiful movement that is about to happen Saturday night at Love Yoga Fest. Emily, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.